Have you ever walked into a room, no one says a word, but the moment your eyes meet someone, you feel an invisible pull that makes your heart skip a beat? In that instant, there are no words, no logic, just something deep inside you suddenly awakens like an ancient door creaking open to reveal a part of yourself you never knew existed. Carl Jung called this the moment when soul touches soul, where the deepest layers of the unconscious resonate with an ancient echo that reason can never explain. We live in a world where everything is measured in images, metrics, likes, and standards of perfection. Women are taught to smile at the right time, speak gracefully, have the perfect body, and always appear sweet to be loved. But here's the strange thing: men don't fall in love because of a perfect smile or well-rehearsed lines. They fall for something they can't even explain: a frequency, an energy, an authentic presence that no makeup or script can replicate. Carl Jung once said, "The psyche is not of today. Its ancestry goes back many millions of years. Your soul doesn't just belong to today. It carries the memory of millions of years of evolution. And it's this ancient unconscious part that decides who you feel drawn to, who feels familiar even if you've just met." Imagine a woman who isn't trying to be chosen, doesn't use tactics to attract, and doesn't need to become the perfect girl. She simply stands there fully at peace within herself, and her energy radiates like a calm yet powerful wave. It's not coldness, it's the fullness of a soul that has come home to itself. And when a man steps into that space, he doesn't know why his heart stirs. He can walk past dozens of dazzling faces and sparkling laughter, but only she makes him stop. Not because she's the most beautiful, nor because she says something profound, but because her energy touches the deepest part of him, a part he didn't even know he'd forgotten. Jung called this the anima, the feminine archetype within a man's unconscious. When a woman is truly herself, she becomes a mirror reflecting the anima inside him. He doesn't love her for what she has, but because she awakens a forgotten part of his soul. In today's video, I invite you to embark on an extraordinary journey to discover why those silent moments can strike your heart so deeply, why some women seem to possess an effortless, magnetic allure, and how you, no matter who you are, can learn to return to your true self, integrating both light and shadow, so you can radiate an authentic, irresistible frequency from within. Together, we'll unpack the 8 layers of this phenomenon, from the role of the unconscious in the anima mechanism to the difference between a woman who is whole and one who is hungry for love, and the power of integrating your shadow, the parts of yourself you've rejected. Because only when you dare to step into your shadow can you truly be free. And only when you're free, love comes not as a chase, but as a natural resonance. Get ready to daze. Lesson 1: teach you how to be perfect to be loved, but will guide you back to your most complete, authentic self, where your true energy will do the rest. Sit down, take a deep breath, and let this truth touch your heart. Have you ever walked into a crowded room and felt instantly drawn to someone, not because they were dressed to stand out or spoke captivatingly, but simply because of their quiet, almost mysterious presence? It's like an invisible wave reaches out and touches something deep inside you, making your heart stop for a moment. Jung called this the moment when soul meets soul, when the unconscious of two people finds each other before a single word is spoken. In today's world, we're obsessed with perfecting our appearance, our smiles, gestures, witty stories. But no one tells you this: the strongest attraction doesn't come from skills, but from energy. The kind of energy that only radiates from someone who is genuine, unguarded, and not pretending. Carl Jung spent his life studying recurring images and symbols in thousands of people's dreams. He discovered they weren't random. They came from a deeper layer he called the collective unconscious, a place where we carry ancient memories beyond time and culture. Imagine a party filled with music and lively conversations. You pass by many people, everyone trying to be noticed, loud laughter, showy stories. But then you see a woman who's not trying at all. She just sits there quietly, eyes calm, and you can't stop glancing back at her. What's really happening here? That's the soul frequency when true presence awakens something deep and unconscious in the other person. Jung once wrote, "Your soul is not just of today, it carries the memory of millions of years. It's this unconscious part that decides who you feel attracted to, why someone can feel instantly familiar even at first sight." Have you ever experienced a moment like this? When was the last time you felt inexplicably drawn to someone, not because of their looks or words? What was the deepest emotion you felt at that moment? These questions aren't meant to be answered right away, but to invite you to start exploring the vibrant unconscious within you. The magic and the brutal honesty of this frequency is that it can't be manufactured. You can't learn it from a 5 tricks to seduce a man video or a weekend seminar. It only emerges when you truly come home to yourself, daring to live fully with everything you are, fears, joys, pains, desires, without cutting off any part of yourself just to please others. Find a quiet time alone, no music, no phone. Recall the last time you felt the need to perform to be loved. How did you feel? Tense, anxious, empty. Then imagine if you had allowed yourself to slow your breath, be present, and speak your real feelings. How might things have turned out differently? Write those feelings down in a journal without judgment. This is the first step to recognizing your fake frequency and slowly returning to your true one. When a woman fully lives in her truth, not faking sweetness, not trying to be overly cute, her energy touches the anima, the feminine archetype within a man's unconscious. He doesn't know why he's drawn to her, but his heart recognizes there's something real and raw here. And because of this, she doesn't attract everyone, only men mature enough to embrace that authenticity. Because they grow up believing a lie to be loved, they must be obedient, sweet smile at the right time, say things that please. Yet in tweaking themselves to fit what others want, they shut down their most magnetic energy, their true presence. Jung called this the tragedy of the modern soul. We sacrifice ourselves to be accepted, then wonder why we're never loved for who we really are. Are you editing yourself just to be loved? If you weren't afraid of rejection, how would you show up differently? Be honest with yourself. This answer might be the first step to reconnecting with your original frequency, the energy that frees you from fighting to be chosen. If any part of this story resonates with you, share it in the comments. Have you ever worn a mask to feel loved? How did things change when you dared to show up as your real self? This community is here for you and all of us to share our journeys back to who we truly are. No judgment, no comparisons. Your honesty could inspire someone who's exhausted from pretending. Let your story be a light for your path and for others. Have you ever heard a man confess, "I don't know why, I can't stop thinking about her. She's not the type I thought I'd fall for, but there's something about her I just can't look away from"? When this happens, you're witnessing one of the most mysterious phenomena Carl Jung described as anima projection, the moment a man's inner feminine archetype is awakened by a woman who is truly herself. According to Jung, the anima is the archetypal image of the inner woman every man carries in his unconscious. It's not the image of any specific person, but a collection of experiences, memories, and ancestral heritage, forming a symbolic idea of femininity in a man's soul. The anima connects him with softness, sensitivity, intuition, quality society often forces men to suppress. The anima isn't awakened when a woman tries to fit someone's ideal type. It only stirs when a woman shows up authentically, not trying to control how she's perceived, not performing to be loved. It's that "I am who I am" state that creates an invisible frequency the man's unconscious instantly recognizes. He feels drawn but can't explain it because the rational mind doesn't understand the language of the soul. A man can be attracted to beauty, intelligence, or humor, but those things only create surface-level feelings. Yet if you've ever seen a man fall for a woman, even though she did nothing obvious to stand out, that's when his anima has been stirred. He feels like she understands him without words, as if she sees the parts of himself he keeps hidden. This isn't infatuation, it's a resonance between his anima and her authenticity. Jung warned if a man isn't mature enough, hell, see the woman as his one and only destiny, becoming easily obsessed. But if he's aware, hell, realize those feelings reveal what his own soul needs to heal. Then she's no longer a savior, but a catalyst for his awakening. A classic example is the love story of singer Johnny Cash and June Carter. Before meeting June, Johnny had many relationships but felt empty and lost. When he met June, he was drawn to more than just her talent, her authentic energy, her strength mixed with softness. June didn't try to please or perform. She lived honestly with her joys, sorrows, and wounds. That honesty awakened the deep anima within Johnny, helping him reconnect with lost feelings. Their love became a turning point that changed his life and career, a powerful testament to the healing that comes when the anima is touched. Have you ever been intensely drawn to someone without understanding why? In that moment, did you realize those feelings were coming from inside you, not just from them? If a woman tries to mold herself into an ideal type to win love, she unknowingly becomes a screen reflecting a man's expectations instead of a true mirror. Hell stay trapped in his illusions, never really discovering himself. But a woman who dares to be real, unfiltered, unapologetic, wakens the anima in a healing way because her honesty helps him see what he hasn't yet faced within himself. How can you live authentically so the anima can awaken? When you notice yourself trying to perform to be loved, pause, place your hand on your chest, and ask, what am I afraid of that keeps me from being real right now? Each morning, spend 5 minutes writing a stream of consciousness journal. Let all your feelings flow without editing or deleting. This helps you recognize what you're avoiding. In conversations, instead of rushing to respond in a way that pleases, take a moment to listen to yourself. What do I truly think and feel? When both people are willing to face their wounds and fears, love stops being a game of proving worth and becomes a space where both can grow into their fullest selves. In love, are you searching for someone to fill your emptiness or someone to grow with? Do you dare to face your own truth so love becomes a journey of maturity? If this story sparks something inside you, share in the comments. Have you ever experienced a love that awakened hidden parts of yourself? What did you learn? This community exists so we can tell our real stories, no judgment, no comparison. When you share, you don't just heal yourself. You give strength to someone else who's feeling lost in their journey to love and self-understanding. In the next part, we'll explore why the difference between a woman who's hungry for love and one who feels whole creates two completely opposite energy fields, one that pushes love away and one that effortlessly draws love in. Don't look away. This could be the key to understanding relationships that have left you confused or heartbroken. Have you ever been with someone who tried so hard loving, caring, doing everything to be appreciated, yet the other person only seemed to drift further away? And have you also met someone else who did nothing special, simply showed up calmly, yet had an irresistible pull? The difference isn't in looks or words, but in energy. One gives off the frequency of "I'm lacking," while the other radiates "I am already whole." Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Women who feel hungry for love don't do so because they want to belittle themselves, but because deep down they hold the belief, "I am not enough to be loved." They think that only by pleasing or proving their worth will they become deserving. This belief creates an energy that makes the other person feel an invisible pressure, even if she never says a word. You'll notice signs like constantly checking his phone, panicking if he doesn't text back immediately, frequently asking, "Do you still love me?" or going overboard with caring even before truly getting to know him. When a woman loves from a place of fear of abandonment, she unintentionally turns love into a burden. A man may not consciously understand why, but he senses unease, feeling like he's responsible for making her happy. And that sense of responsibility suffocates the freedom that's essential for lasting love. In contrast, a woman who has healed her wounds, knows her worth, and doesn't wait for love to confirm she's enough, radiates a peaceful energy. When she enters a relationship, she doesn't seek to bind anyone. She shares, she loves, but she doesn't fear losing. The man beside her doesn't feel forced to prove anything. And precisely because he isn't controlled, he chooses to stay. No matter how beautiful, smart, or talented you are, if your energy says, I need you to choose me, so I can feel enough, a man will sense it, even if he can't put it into words. Jung pointed out, what we deny within ourselves will appear outside as fate. If you're lacking inside, you'll attract people who make you feel even more empty. But if you are whole, you'll draw those who come to share, not to fill a void. Think of relationships. You've seen a woman who texts nonstop, acts overly sweet, showers him with care, yet he grows distant. Meanwhile, another woman stays calm, doesn't need constant reassurance, doesn't rush to demand labels, and he seeks her out, wants to protect her, wants to commit. The difference isn't in appearance, but in frequency. The first radiates, I lack. The second radiates, I am enough. In love, do you act from a fear of losing someone or from confidence that you are worthy? Do you often worry someone will leave you even when there are no signs of it? Every day, write down 3 things you love about yourself unrelated to your appearance. Before replying to someone's message, ask yourself, am I responding from joy or from fear? They'll lose interest if I don't reply fast enough. When anxiety hits, instead of rushing to fix things, sit down, take 10 deep breaths, and remind yourself, I am enough. I don't need anyone's approval. When a woman lives in the energy of I am already enough, she doesn't need to be chosen, isn't afraid of being left, and doesn't force herself to please. This creates freedom, a rare but priceless element in modern relationships. Men feel that freedom as space where they too can simply be themselves, not heroes, not invincible, just human with all their feelings. And when a man can truly be himself around you, he won't want to leave. Many admire the love between Barack and Michelle Obama. Michelle never chased Barack for his love. Even when he was just an ambitious young lawyer, she confidently walked her own path, never seeking her worth through his success. Her sense of wholeness inspired him, became a source of strength, and helped him flourish. Their relationship is a powerful example of the I am enough energy in a woman. Are you seeking love to feel whole, or do you already know you're whole before love comes? If you stop searching for validation, how do you think your energy would change? If this reflection made you realize something about yourself or your relationship, don't hesitate to share in the comments. Have you ever loved from a place of lack or experienced love when you already felt whole? Your story could give courage to someone else struggling to love without losing themselves. This community exists so we can speak our truths and learn how to love from wholeness, not fear. In the next part, we'll dive into what Jung considered the most important step toward becoming your true self, integrating the shadow, the dark parts we reject. Because only when you dare to face and accept what you've suppressed can your energy become complete, powerful, and truly free. Don't miss it. This could be the turning point on your journey back to yourself. Imagine standing before a giant mirror that only reflects the upper half of your face, while the lower half always stays hidden in darkness. You can polish and beautify the part in the light, but the shadowy half is still there, seeping into your actions, decisions, and emotion, no matter how hard you try to deny it. Carl Jung called this the shadow, and he made it clear, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. The shadow is everything about yourself you don't want to admit. Jealousy, anger, greed, fear, weakness, the things you were taught you shouldn't have since childhood. But instead of disappearing, these feelings get pushed into the unconscious and become a hidden force shaping how you choose partners, how you react to rejection, and even whether you dare to pursue your dreams. Think about times you felt jealous but forced a smile to pretend you were fine, or times you feared failure but told yourself, I don't care anyway. In those moments, you didn't destroy the negative emotion, you buried it, letting it silently control you. Eventually, the shadow shows up in your life as negative patterns or bad luck, just as Jung said. What you don't bring to consciousness will repeat in your life as fate. Many people fear the idea of the shadow, thinking facing it means giving themselves permission to act poorly. But the truth is, When you become aware of and accept your shadow, it loses its power over you. You can acknowledge I'm jealous or I feel hurt instead of letting those feelings explode into words or actions that hurt others. Jung emphasized only what is brought to light can be transformed. For example, a woman who always appears sweet, polite, and avoids conflict might actually be suppressing anger when treated unfairly. She never says no out of fear of displeasing others. Over time, the anger builds up and leaks out through avoidance or emotional coldness, causing confusion and cracks in the relationship. But when she realizes I am angry and dares to say I didn't like how you spoke to me, she frees the shadow, transforming it into energy that helps her set healthy boundaries. Have you ever hurt someone simply because you couldn't face your true feelings? Do you often try so hard to be good that you lose touch with what you actually feel? Every time you feel angry, jealous, anxious, write down exactly what you're feeling without judgment. D.E. I feel small because I was compared to someone else. Visualize your shadow as a neglected child. Ask it, what do you need from me? The answer can reveal your deepest unmet needs. Each night, spend 5 minutes sitting silently with your eyes closed and ask, which part of my shadow was triggered today? Write down whatever thoughts come up. People who don't integrate their shadow love from fear, fear of abandonment, fear of betrayal, fear of not being enough. The shadow turns them into controllers or chronic pleasers who bend over backward just to keep love. But when you dare to see and love your shadow, you stop loving from fear and start loving from freedom. You also become better at recognizing and empathizing with others. Shadows instead of judging or getting hurt by them. Author Maya Angelou once shared how she suffered abuse in childhood, leading to deep anger and fear. For years, she avoided facing it, but when she began writing and sharing her story, she integrated her shadow transforming pain into a powerful voice that inspired millions. Had she kept denying her dark parts, she never would have found her unique voice or become a symbol of human rights. Is there a part of you you've always felt ashamed of, kept hidden, or never dared to share? If you allowed yourself to accept that part instead of denying it, how might your relationships change? If this reflection helped you recognize your own shadow, don't hesitate to write in the comments. The dark part in learning to accept is you don't have to share details. Just naming it can begin the healing journey. This community is a place free of judgment where we can face ourselves together and support each other in becoming more whole. In the next part, we'll explore how to cultivate full presence, the art of merging light and shadow to emit your most powerful frequency, attracting love opportunities and genuine connections without having to fight for them. Don't miss it, because understanding presence could unlock the secret to natural, effortless magnetism no one else can imitate. Have you ever sat next to someone who didn't say much or try to show off, but just by being there you felt heard, understood, and safe enough to be yourself? That's the power of full presence, a profound psychological state where you radiate not just your brightest light, but also embrace your shadow, no longer needing to prove yourself or pretend. Carl Jung believed full presence isn't just about shining light, but knowing you've been lost in the dark. Because it's your experience with darkness that makes you unafraid of the darkness in others. In a world where everyone tries so hard to appear perfect, someone who dares to be silent, calm, and real instantly stands out. Full presence isn't about appearance, it's about energy. Do you dare to live without molding yourself into what others expect? Do you dare to enter a conversation unafraid of silence without rushing to fill it with meaningless chatter? People sense energy faster than words. If you're anxious, even if you smile or talk a lot, the atmosphere still feels heavy. If you're at peace, you don't need to say much. Your mere presence soothes others. This is the frequency of I've come home to myself, a state Jung called becoming the self, the final stage of individuation. Many people never feel enough because they keep looking for answers outside. Am I attractive enough? Am I lovable? When you keep searching, the energy you send out is I need you to make me feel whole. But when you dare to stop and turn inward, you emit the energy of, I am already enough. That is full presence, no pushing, no pulling, no forcing, yet it has a profound, unmatched magnetism. Think of famous speakers like Oprah Winfrey. She doesn't speak fast or try to impress, but every word lands straight in the heart of the listener. That's not a speech technique, but the result of a long journey facing her darkness, accepting her wounds and rising to become a more whole version of herself. Do you often feel the need to do something special to be liked in relationships? When was the last time you sat quietly, just listened without trying to impress? Practice cultivating full presence. Spend 10 minutes today talking with someone, focusing solely on listening without jumping in to share your own stories. When at an event, instead of asking yourself, am I making a good impression? Ask, am I truly present right now? Each night, write down one moment you felt disconnected from the present due to worry or fear and how you could bring yourself back next time. Benefits of full presence in love and life. Others feel your authenticity. They don't need to read you creating safer, deeper connections. You stop worrying about being loved and start living your true values, naturally attracting people who resonate with you. You create a healing space just by being there. Others feel comfortable, safe, and open up. In an interview, Keanu Reeves shared, I used to think I had to be perfect to be loved, but I learned that when I stopped trying, people finally saw the real me. This is the perfect example of full presence, no show, no effort to impress, yet profoundly magnetic through authenticity. What do you think keeps you from fully showing up? Fear of judgment, fear of abandonment, or fear of your own darkness? If you allowed yourself to truly be present, how do you think your relationships would change? Share in the comments, I realize that to be fully present, I need, or tell a moment when you dared to show up as your true self and what happened. Your story can give courage to someone else, and together we can build a community where everyone is respected without having to pretend. In the next part, we'll explore how to sustain this frequency in everyday life so you can not only shine in moments, but live consistently in your true energy, no matter the situation, pressure, or relationship dynamics. Don't miss it. This is the key to turning presence into a way of life, not just fleeting moments. Have you ever felt a deep sense of peace after meditating, taking a trip, or having an honest conversation with yourself, only to find yourself slipping back into anxiety and chasing approval a few days later? Why, even after experiencing moments of full presence, do we so easily lose it? Because presence isn't a milestone you reach once. It's a daily practice. As Jung said, no one awakens once and for all. Each day, we must choose to remain awake. In our busy lives, we're constantly pulled away from ourselves by phone notifications, deadlines, social expectations. When we're tired, the shadow grows stronger, triggering automatic reactions like defensiveness, needing to prove ourselves, or craving praise. This is when your I am enough frequency turns into I need validation, and your magnetic energy weakens. For example, you might start a date feeling confident, but after a few conversations where your date seems distant, you start worrying. You try to be extra funny, force a laugh, or ask endless questions. In that moment, you've left full presence, disconnecting from yourself to chase someone else's attention. The key isn't to stay peaceful all the time, which is impossible, but to recognize quickly when you've drifted from presence and come back as soon as possible. That's why Jung considered self-observation the most crucial skill in the journey of individuation, becoming a whole individual. A young woman once shared every time her boyfriend took long to reply, she'd feel restless, wanting to send another message to remind him. But she learned to pause and ask herself, what is this feeling telling me about me? She realized her fear of abandonment came not from his actions, but from childhood experiences of neglect. Instead of spamming messages, she'd breathe deeply, sit with her feelings, and remind herself, I am enough. I am safe. Over time, she kept her calm energy, even when external situations weren't perfect. Practice sustaining presence in daily life. Set an alarm 3 times a day. When it rings, pause for 1 minute, take a deep breath, and ask, am I present or caught up in worry? Before replying to an important message, take 3 deep breaths to ensure you respond from peace, not fear. Each evening, journal 3 moments I got swept away today and how I can return to presence tomorrow. Benefits of sustaining presence long term. You stop fearing loss because you understand wholeness comes from within, not from anyone else. You attract the right people and opportunities as your energy naturally filters who stays and who leaves. Your relationships become deeper and safer because others feel free to be themselves around you. Do you notice repeating patterns in how you react when you feel ignored or unloved? If you stop trying to grab someone's attention, how do you think your relationship would change? Share in the comments. I realized the moment I left presence was, or I returned to presence by. When you share, you're not just affirming your own growth, you're inspiring others to begin their own journey back to the present. Let's make this community a space where we practice presence together every day. In the next part, we'll dive into the art of setting boundaries, how to say no without guilt, and how to protect your energy so you can sustain your presence without feeling drained. Don't miss it. Boundaries are the shield that safeguards your sense of wholeness. Have you ever found yourself finally at peace only to lose your balance instantly because of a single text complaint or unreasonable request, leaving you irritated or exhausted? That's a clear sign you haven't established personal boundaries, an essential element to protect your sense of wholeness and sustain full presence. Carl Jung believed you cannot become yourself if you keep living according to others' expectations. Boundaries are the healthy fence between me and others, helping you stay grounded and not get swept away by others' negative energy. Boundaries aren't walls that block love. They're fences that protect respect and your mental health. Without them, you're more likely to agree to everything just to be liked, allow yourself to be used, or end up drained from trying to please everyone. In contrast, when your boundaries are clear, you confidently say no and know what doesn't align with your values. From a young age, many of us were taught good kids always obey, don't upset others. Helping everyone is the right thing. These beliefs planted a fear of rejection if we don't accommodate others. That's why when you're about to say no, your body tenses, your heart races, and your mind fears losing affection, so you stay silent or agree against your true feelings. Jung emphasized love cannot grow in extreme self-sacrifice. When you set boundaries, you're not saying, I don't love you. You're saying, I love myself too and deserve respect. Those who respect your boundaries will only love you more. Those who only value you when you abandon yourself were never truly loving you. For example, a friend might call you for hours just to complain, repeating the same problems with no intention of changing. You feel exhausted but fear hurting them, so you keep listening. Afterward, you feel empty and resentful. Only when you dare to say, I care about you, but I don't have the energy to talk right now. Let's catch up another time. Do you protect your energy and avoid being pulled into their negativity? Steps for effective boundary setting. 1. Identify what makes you uncomfortable. For example, someone calling late at night, a partner controlling your time, friends, demanding constant availability. 2. Define your personal values. Ask yourself, do I value freedom, peace, or honesty the most? 3. Practice clear but simple boundary phrases. I hear you, but I can't do that right now. This doesn't work for me. Thanks for understanding. I need some time to think before I respond. 4. Avoid over-explaining. You don't need to craft a perfect explanation to justify saying no. The more you explain, the more room you give others to push back. 5. Be patient with feelings of guilt. Feeling guilty the first few times you set boundaries is normal. It shows you're breaking the habit of people-pleasing, not that you're doing something wrong. Practice building your boundary muscle. Each day, try saying no to one small thing you don't want to do, like a lunch invite when you need rest. Journal today I set a boundary by, and note how you felt afterward. Keep track of who respects your boundaries and who doesn't to recognize healthy relationships. Benefits of strong boundaries. You feel free, no longer fearful of being controlled. Your energy and presence remain steady, helping you stay calm, even in challenging situations. You create an environment where true love can grow, where both partners can be themselves without pretending. Think back. When was the last time you said yes when you wanted to say no, and what made you do it? If you set clearer boundaries, how do you think certain people in your life would change how they treat you? Share in the comments a boundary I need to set is, or what I learned when I finally set a boundary. Each of your stories will help this community become a place where we learn to love ourselves unapologetically, growing stronger and truer together. In the next part, we'll explore the art of maintaining softness and femininity, even while setting boundaries so you don't become rigid, but radiate a magnetic energy that's gentle yet firm. Don't miss it. This is the key to becoming a woman no one can disrespect and no one wants to leave. Have you ever met a woman who wasn't conventionally striking or trying to be attractive, yet she radiated a gentle, confident presence that made everyone want to be around her? That's true softness, a state where you're strong enough to set boundaries, but soft enough to avoid becoming rigid or harsh. Carl Jung once said, "Power lies not in control, but in harmony with oneself." Fake softness is when you force yourself to be sweet, hide your truth, and please everyone so you won't be disliked. True softness appears when you're unafraid of losing anyone because you've chosen yourself first. From there, you can say no with respect, set boundaries calmly, and when you say yes, it's genuine, not out of obligation. When you're soft because you fear losing love, you'll let others cross your boundaries. But when you're soft because you know your worth, your gentleness commands respect rather than inviting exploitation. This kind of softness isn't weakness. It's like water, flexible yet capable of wearing down even the hardest rock. Jung affirmed, "We only become whole when we integrate both extremes. Firmness without softness becomes aggression. Softness without boundaries becomes weakness. When you master both, you become a place of peace and a mirror of strength for others." Lon, a young entrepreneur in New York, shared that she always felt she had to be tough and ready to argue to avoid being seen as weak. She often ended up in heated fights with her boyfriend whenever she felt neglected, leaving their relationship tense. After attending a workshop on boundaries and presence, she realized she was fighting from a fear of abandonment. She started practicing saying, "I hear you, but I need to feel prioritized in this relationship." Her tone was gentle, non-accusatory, but clear. Something amazing happened. Instead of getting defensive, her boyfriend opened up, and their conversations became deeper. For the first time, they understood each other instead of battling to win. That's the power of true softness. How to cultivate softness without weakness. Recognize moments when you use a harsh tone, even though you just want to be heard. Ask yourself, am I trying to prove something or truly connect? 2, shift from blaming statements to sharing feelings. Instead of, "You never care," try, "I feel hurt when I need you," and don't feel your support. 3, use open, relaxed body language. Relax your shoulders. Maintain eye contact. Avoid crossing your arms or looking away. Your body sends softness signals before your words do. 4, end boundary setting statements with positive energy. "I really appreciate you and I hope we can work through this together." Benefits of practicing true softness. You break the cycle of blame and defensiveness. Your relationships become warmer and more understanding. You feel confident knowing your gentleness is your strength, not a weakness. In conflicts, do you tend to use a harsh tone or shut down and avoid? Can you try expressing your feelings gently the next time an issue arises? Share in the comments. A moment I was soft yet firm was, or what I learned when I shared my truth with a calm voice. Your story could inspire someone who thinks softness is only for the weak. Let's create a space where we can all be strong and gentle without feeling forced to choose one over the other. In the next part, we'll explore how to build self-confidence from within without relying on others' approval, so you radiate lasting magnetism that doesn't fade when circumstances change. Don't miss it. This is the final key to becoming the most complete version of yourself. As we reach the end of today's journey, I invite you to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, have I been living to be chosen, or have I been choosing myself? Because only when you dare to choose yourself can you radiate an energy that no one can imitate, the energy of your inner truth. Carl Jung left us a profound legacy. The journey back to yourself isn't about becoming perfect, but about becoming whole, embracing both your light and your shadow. It's about no longer living as a character, trying to be good enough in someone else's story, but becoming the main character in your own. You now know that wholeness isn't something you have to chase, it's a state you return to. You've come to understand that full presence, gentle firmness, and clear boundaries aren't opposites, but essential pieces that make you who you are. You've discovered that true love isn't a negotiation to fill your emptiness, but a meeting between two souls who are whole, free, and respectful of each other. Jung once said, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes." Allow yourself to look inward, even if you find imperfect, shadowy corners. Because when you dare to face your fears, they stop controlling you. When you can say, "This is who I am," without masking your soul, you'll attract people deep enough to truly see you. Remember the seed. It never compares itself to the seed next to it. It doesn't try to bloom faster just for praise. It simply roots itself deep in the darkness, gathers nourishment, and one day bursts through the soil to bloom at its own perfect time. You're the same, don't rush. Don't force yourself to bloom before you're ready. Keep rooting firmly, nurturing your inner wholeness, and trust that when you're ready, you'll blossom in a way only you can. Before you leave this video, ask yourself, what in today's journey made you realize you've been living disconnected from yourself? Share your answer in the comments below. Sometimes a short story you write can awaken someone else, and you in turn may receive profound connection from like-minded souls. If what you heard today touched your heart, let me know by dropping a comment. Don't hesitate to share. Here you won't be judged, only heard. And if you feel these messages should reach more people, please hit subscribe. Every video I create is for you, the one longing for a life that's authentic, free, and whole. Save this video or revisit it whenever you feel lost. Sometimes you don't need new knowledge, just a reminder that you are enough, you deserve love, and you have the right to live your truth. Thank you for being here, for giving yourself this opportunity to look deeper within. Always remember, you are not a race to win others' approval. You are yourself, and that is the most precious gift you can offer this world.